All right, we just wrapped up week 2, hit on to week 3, and one better way to start week 3 by meal prepping. We got 93.7 ground turkey, this from Costco, and then we got the 93.7 ground beef. This is from Walmart. I normally tend to get my beef from Walmart just because Costco only has 85.15 or 88.12, and they don't really carry the 93.7 anymore. So the only type of meat I really get from Walmart is my ground beef. So we'll just have to do, but you know, that's fine. I don't have a problem going to another location to get whatever I need, because you just gotta do what you gotta do, you know? So, but I find it quite funny and hard to believe that when people say they don't have time to meal prep, and I'm like, all right, you maybe don't, but then you have time to go to happy hour and things like that. It's like, which one really is it? And I think at the end of the day, it's just the priorities that you guys set for yourselves based on whatever your life and your schedule is. And I just don't think people know how easy it is to meal prep, or they don't have the right, like say, like pots with pans or like needs to meal prep. And I get it too. Some people, a lot of people probably out there can't eat the same thing over and over again. For me, I don't have a problem with that. But the majority of the people, they have a problem that they can't eat the same thing, which I get, totally understand. If you want something that's more to your liking and that you can stay consistent with it, yeah, by all means, find something. But I don't think it's necessarily that hard to meal prep to your liking to a degree. And what I mean by that is, I mean, really like what I'm doing right now, I got one pan for ground beef. This will last me about 3 to 4 days. It's about 3 pounds, and it'll last me about 3 to 4 days worth of meat right here, because I eat this, you know, I eat 5 ounces for meal 4 and then 5 ounces for meal 5. And this ground turkey is about 1.5 pounds. That lasts me about 3 days as well. You know, I get 3 days worth of meals right there, because I only eat ground turkey once a meal. So I only have 5 ounces for meal 3, you know? So it's very easy and simple. Now if you want to like add like flavor or, you know, other toppings, or you want to mix and match like different combinations of meals, by all means you can do so. I mean, you can just grab different veggies, toppings, you know, you can add the seasonings what you want, and you can still mix it and mash it to your taste and to your liking. Like, I mean, honestly, like the stores have made it so convenient for you guys now that you can get pre-cut up, you know, like what, let's say you use like pre-cut onions, green peppers, tomatoes. You can get a lot of those things pre-cut up for you, so you don't have to take the time to cut up the green peppers, the onions, and all that, you know, other veggies that you like to put in your meal. You can do so by just having to go in the store that actually does it for you, and you're good to go. Just dump a little bit of what you need and you're set. But I think it's just like, again, it goes back to what I'm saying. I don't think people actually have the structure or the idea of what that really goes into. And pretty much also too, meal prep doesn't really take this long. Like once I'm done like smashing this ground turkey, just like smash my beef, you know, it'll be pretty much done right here. Because all I just do is I let this simmer for about, you know, 15, 20 minutes. Maybe I might flip it, I might check up every now and then, just make sure it's cooking. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, there's nothing much you have to really do for meal prepping. And then, like I said, like you want like delicious, different tasty meals, you can just add whatever seasonings, again, whatever flavor you want into it. So here, I'm pretty much done. Now I'll salt both my meats right here. You know, I gotta keep it salty, gotta keep it fresh, you know? Easy. But I mean, like, that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. And I'll show you what other things, because like I already cooked my other products I have. I already cooked my rice, already pre-cooked my potatoes. But I'll show you what else I just have for, you know, that goes along with my meals. And yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it for what I do for meal prepping. I mean, really, like, meal prepping doesn't take as long as the people think it's ought to be. Like this pan right here that I'm using for my ground beef, I used to cook 8 pounds before in this beef, or I'm sorry, in this pan. I used to cook 8 pounds in here before. Grant, was it the best idea? No, but did it work? Yes. And it was back then when like I would just cook my entire week's worth of meal in this one pan. I'll cook 8 pounds of ground beef in this pan and it will last me the entire week. Now again, that was back then when my schedule was different, and that was back then when I just didn't really care so much about kind of taste that much. But like over time, when I realized like by like day 4, day 5, really day 5, that's when the meat just started tasting like ass. And that's when you really had to double the salt and really double the sauce to really just down it. And I just learned over time like, nah, I don't need to do that anymore. So now all I'll be doing is I cook every 3 to 4 days. I mean, like I said, this would last me about 3 or 4 days. It'll last me about 3 days. I'll just keep repeating the cycle. And like I said, you know, it's 11:28 right now. Probably be done by close to 12. Not even. Probably like quarter to 12. So it doesn't take that long to meal prep because you don't do much more work. You just let it simmer. Well, it doesn't help that my ground beef is not really cooking. That was on. But yeah, it really doesn't take that long. Like you just let the meat simmer and that's it. I'll also show you another thing a lot of people don't understand is like, see this bad boy right here? This rice cooker does wonders. All you have to do is just measure out the water, measure out the rice, press 2 buttons, boom, you got your load of rice. I'll also show you the other meals I have in the side of this fridge. So in here, I got my eggs. Again, I use this for the morning. I got my egg whites, this is my post-workout. Again, my pre-cooked meals is my rice right here. Again, like I said, I used that from the rice cooker, made that yesterday. And then my potatoes right here. I already cooked this about like 2 days ago, but pretty much all my carb sources already pre-packed and loaded. And again, with potatoes and the rice, they can go for a week without really losing its taste. So I think it's pretty good that I can have a week's worth of carb source like my rice and potatoes. I don't really have to worry about it too much because again, the taste is still good. As opposed to beef and meat, nah, you gotta change that up like every 2 or 3 days. I'll also show you like the sauce. This one I've actually been trying. This is actually pretty good, but I recommend you use it more for like ribs. The one that I use, I'll show it to you, but that's pretty much it what I eat inside the fridge. And then for my freezer, I'll just have my frozen berries right here. I got my frozen berries, triple berry, and then my pineapples back there. And that's pretty much it for the frozen section. And then also too, I use lettuce for my veggies for all 3 of my meals. And then for the sauce, I really recommend I use is the G. Hughes sugar-free hickory barbecue sauce. This shit slaps every time. But for me, I really don't need the seasonings. And plus also too, I tried the seasonings and just, it doesn't really sit well with me. So I just decided to use sauces like sugar-free because like, honestly, really, if you look at it, like 2 tablespoons or like 30 grams of barbecue sauce is only 10 calories. So if I really want to, I can go use 60 grams of the sauce and only get 20 calories from it. And also too, is 0 sugars too. So pretty much I can use this, and this barbecue sauce doesn't really affect me too much. It doesn't cause me bloating or, you know, some type of reaction from the seasons like I do with that barbecue sauce. I get no effects with it. So it's just small things like that that you have to really think about and really process and plan what you need to do to really set yourself up for the week ahead. And that's pretty much it. That's all I do with my meal prep, really. I just, again, have 2 pans, one for my ground beef, one for my ground turkey. And then again, I use the rice cooker for my rice. My potatoes, I'll boil them now. I used to cut up, but man, cutting up like took me an hour. Don't get me wrong, I love cube potatoes, but the duration that goes into it, nah, I'm good on that. I don't want to be cutting for an hour. So what I did, I started boiling them now, and it takes about 45 minutes, an hour. But again, you don't have to think, like you don't have to really pay attention to it. You just set a timer, and boom, it's done. Like you just let it boil, and you got yourself some like mashed potatoes. Really, if you don't like the skin, you just peel the skin, and then you got yourself some mashed potatoes. Just be careful when you put the butter and extra sauce in it, because that's calories, you know. But I mean, other than that, that's pretty much it. What I do for my meal prep: breakfast, I have my eggs. I got my oats. I get this from Costco, 1 degree, gluten-free oats. I'll just add a peanut butter, honey, cinnamon, some blueberries. Again, while I showcase my meals week 1, that's pretty much what I've been having for 3 weeks. I'm leaning into it. I'm not really changing up my calories because right now the picture is showing on Friday morning, right before my cheat meal, and we're still going pretty good. And I'm getting kind of noticed again with like the health, like the amount of health issues that I'm experiencing or I've been kind of dealing with. It's not really working in my favor of like using a scale. So I'm not going to like really use the scale too much to rely on like if it's working or if it's not. I'm going to rely more on the pictures that I'll be showcasing you guys to really navigate and really show if the progress is working or if it's not. So I'm going to rely more on photos. I'm still going to use the scale just to kind of get an idea, but like I said, just with the health issues that I got going on, I'm going to rely more on the photos as opposed to the scale. But again, either way it works. Scale is just kind of nice because you can see the trending going down, but again, the picture can also still look good by seeing, you know, you getting cutter, the muscle definition coming in cleaner, all those things like that. So that's pretty much it. And moving forward, like the only switch up I did from last week was I would switch my walk into like incline treadmill walking now for about 30 minutes. I think it's been kind of, you know, change up the intensity has been helping a lot too. So I'm going to keep that going into this week. Keep doing 30 minutes on incline treadmill. I do about 10 incline. I might increase it to 12 this week, but I'll keep the speed around like 2.3. Again, I'm not trying to run up that hill. I'm not trying to really go too fast. I'm just keeping my walking distance. I still average about 3,200 steps per that session. So it gets me close to that 10K as well. And again, I'm not really exerting too much. I'm just walking up again, just changing up the intensity. So that's pretty much it. This may be the last week I'll be at 3,600 calories, really. We'll just have to see after, you know, come up to this Friday and we'll just go from there. But honestly, like the week two went pretty good. There's been a few times where I think it's like from the start of the beginning of the week, half the first week, I was just waking up tired. I just didn't know a reason why. I was just waking up tired. Like my body just wasn't really into it. I think it's because after having that long day of volleyball and not really like having my meals along with it kind of made me exhausted, especially being this heat in Houston. So I think with that leading to Monday, not properly hydrating, just kind of backfired me a little bit to start the week. So I kind of felt dehydrated a little bit. I kind of felt tired, but my workout still felt good, thankfully. But I think it could have just been better if I was able to have that proper, you know, protocol and my plan to go along with it. And then Wednesday was rough. That was a struggle for me. I can remember it's like when I was like incline pressing, you know, when you guys get like when you're warming up and you warm up, it feels like I was warming up with 225 on incline bench. Like that thing really felt like 315 on it. And I was like, this is gonna be rough. But what was shocking, like I finished my entire workout. I increased my weight on the last set of every exercise. So I did like 260 for incline bench. I started with 255, finished with 260. Did like 110s from one set of 6 on dumbbell bench. And then dips went up to 100s. So I was increasing weight the entire time, even though despite that I was feeling off in the beginning, I was able to increase weight. And again, that's the thing about calorie deficit. Calorie deficit is gonna be hard. You're gonna be struggling when you go into deficit, and it's supposed to be hard. It doesn't matter how experienced you are. It doesn't matter what level, what, you know, field you're in of like how, you know, just whatever your case is you're doing. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard because you're gonna be feeling the tiredness. It's gonna be hard because you're gonna feel the hunger. It's gonna be hard because you might feel weak, but I think the weakness just comes more in the mental thing. If you just let your mental take over your strength, I think that's what just causes weakness. But that's when you just have to fight those battles. That's where you just have to like really overpower your mind and tell yourself, nah, motherfucker, you got this shit. Like we're gonna make this shit happen. And that's something you just have to really engrave into when you go into calorie deficit because it's always gonna be hard. It's never gonna be easy. And finish out the week, you know, I did my cheat meal. I had my Burger King, went to a Royal Family, went a little too crazy in the calories a little bit, it was 4,500. Not what it tells you on the app. Be careful you do like bundles. I'm sure you guys are never gonna do bundles, but if you are doing bundles for like your boys or like a group of friends, just be careful like you really like look at the individual items of the calories because they don't add up to what the bundle says. And yeah, completed that in 60 minutes and 8 seconds. I'll drop the video down in the description if you guys want to check it out. After that, I think I went a little too crazy on the sweets, honestly. I had Hershey pie, then I had a Pop-Tarts, hot fudge sundae. I haven't had Pop-Tarts in a minute, so it's nice, but again, I think I just went a little too crazy by just having the entire box plus a Hershey pie. Like I was great after the Royal Family meal, but I don't think like I did myself any good by having the entire box of Pop Tarts. If I just had one, I probably could have been better. I mean, it kind of left me a little bit, you know, over the calorie count for sure, because I probably had like 8,000 to 10,000 calories that day between my meals and then between that cheat meal and my sweets. So I could have done that a little different. And there's something too I want to like talk about too is like I kind of like lied to myself and also kind of lied to you guys about like how last week when, you know, when like you're playing, when the day doesn't go as you like you plan, like for a reason, like if you're like out there playing volleyball, like I was playing Sunday, and like you didn't expect how long you were gonna stay, like you didn't expect what the turnout was gonna be for the rest of the day, and like you tell yourself it's okay, like to go ahead, like have the Wendy's. Like for me, again, this case in my position is like it's okay to have the Wendy's because you know yourself. At the end of the day, you can't really afford to let yourself get in that habit or get yourself in that mindset to tell you like it's okay because like you know how much calories can go into it. I mean, at the end, it's like if your goal or your purpose is to go to where you want to go, then it's like you just got really sorry, I was just flipping this. So and then you just gotta really be like honest with yourself. Is like when the days come unexpected, could you have done it better? And for me, I could have done it better. I could have brought my meals because there's a gas station not too far from where we were playing volleyball. I could have brought my meals, brought a lunchbox, took an intermission, gone to the gas station, had a meal, ate, and then gone back into playing volleyball. And it's something that comes with preparation. Like again, I had my plan. I knew everything that I needed to do and on my meals. I could have just done it better, and I could have done it. You know, not put myself in that mindset like I can't afford to, because when you tell yourself you can afford to, you're going to keep yourself in that victim mindset, and that's going to trickle, you know, the next day and the entire weekend, and that whole week just goes off because you didn't prep, you didn't go shopping. Now it's like Monday, you start off with like you don't have anything ready for you, so you're going out to eat, and it just trickles down to the next week. So for me, it's like it didn't happen, but it's something that it can happen to you guys when you guys don't get yourself prepared, don't have a plan in place for it. And for me, I could have just done better. I could have just done better by really just bringing my meals with me. So whenever that times happens again, where I'm like you playing volleyball, like if I'm just hanging out with people and I just don't know when that day or that hangout session is gonna be done, I can just bring my meals with me. Now, granted, some other people might not understand why you're doing so, and that's okay. At the end, you only got to understand where you're going, what you're destined to get, and what's your purpose at the end of it. Don't really care what people's opinions really have an effect on you, because again, they're not going to understand, but at the end, if you understand where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do, that's all that just really matters. So I want to say I just apologize for lying to you guys, because like at the end, you could do it better. You could have a different preparation. You could always expect the unexpected by being prepared for whatever that case is. So I think it just kind of goes into it. And again, you don't want to create that victim mindset and telling yourself that you can afford to. Again, this is how like I work. Because with me thinking that is like if I didn't have Wendy's, I probably could have been in better condition than where I'm at right now. And leading up to that Burger King meal and leading up to, you know, today as well. So it's just like small things I think about, and the small things like, you know, what's really more important to me and what's really the objective. The objective for me to like keep following plans, the objective to me to hit this goal, you know, with a purpose, with intention. And that's really something you just gotta think about. But other than that, that is it for pretty much week 3. Nothing really changes. I mean, we're still having the same meals. We're still having 3,600 calories. We're still walking an incline treadmill. Might increase it to 12, might keep it at 10. I'll just have to kind of see and gauge based on like what I'm looking like. Again, keep it at 2 to 2.3 miles per hour and keep doing my training. That's pretty much it. I mean, there's really not much more when you go in calorie deficit other than you just pretty much just keep an eye on like what's really happening, but don't really like try to change a lot of things so much. Like, especially when you're cutting your food, you don't want to cut the food so quickly and so fast because you kind of want your body to get a little accustomed to it. And also too, you want to really see if it's actually really working. Now again, if it's plateauing, if it's not really working to your food, then yes, you can cut food. But I mean, this is going on week 3. I'm still losing weight. My body composition is still changing. I'm like, there's no reason for me to change it. I'm gonna keep going until that thing really just flatlines. And then that's like, cool, let me go ahead and change it. But again, like I said, after this next week, so how we do, I might go and, I might cut my calories another 300. But we'll find out more. This week's cheat meal, I think I got a surprise for it, but I'm not too sure. It will be TBD till when I really want to. Depends how I look on Thursday, and depends going to Friday morning. I might do something different, but if I don't do the surprise, switching out from the burgers to Chick-fil-A, we'll be doing a Chick-fil-A meal for the Friday cheat meal. And switch out my sweets too. This is an ice cream shop. It's gelato. It's right down the street. I'm just probably gonna keep doing that. It's nice because walking, I can digest, and also too, just get some ice cream. It really doesn't affect me too much, and I'd be content with that as well for my Friday nights. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this plan and for this week. So other than that, stay tuned. If you guys wanted to keep up to date how my progress is going, I'll drop my Instagram down low. You can keep up with my stories and my whole progress to day on day. And other than that, I'll catch you guys next week.